In today's video, we've significantly enhanced our system by adding our powerful Reranker tool, which fundamentally makes our retrieval process incredibly creative and exceptionally accurate. So in this detailed video, we will explore how to effectively set up and configure the Reranker core here. For that crucial step, first, let's thoroughly understand what retrieval actually is and how it functions. Initially, we typically have a large document and we then carefully cover and segment it into different manageable chunks, and subsequently we have and after that, those particular items are carefully placed in different distinct locations. Then whenever we proceed to ask a specific question first, the process of embedding meticulously happens. The question's embedding then skillfully goes and efficiently extracts the nearest most relevant chunks for us. The nearest chunks that appear to be highly relevant to the posed question are precisely identified as potential viable answers. Those nearest extracted chunks are then carefully gathered, and subsequently those chunks are sent back to the agent, and the agent then thoughtfully sets the final answer for us. Now let us thoroughly examine what the Reranker actually is. In the Reranker, we observe that the various relevant answers we obtain, for instance in drag, we typically receive 3. Here we have the capability to collect as many relevant ones as is practically possible and then pass them on to the Reranker. The Reranker then meticulously checks which 3 are indeed the nearest, extracts them with precision and then passes them onward. If none of them ultimately proves to be the correct answer, then that is precisely how the Reranker effectively operates. So now let us proceed to our current setup. Here we can clearly see that we have successfully set up the Reranker. If you're interested in knowing how to comprehensively set up this entire workflow, I have thoroughly explained the complete setup process in a previous video, specifically how to set up Supabase. So within the Supabase store, if we navigate here, we can readily observe the Reranker option. If we choose to close it from this point, you can clearly see that the Reranker option immediately disappears and the crucial connection is consequently broken. Now let us go and actively enable the Reranker, and then we will proceed to collect it. So we have successfully set up the Reranker here, and we have meticulously loaded our entire document into its system. The specific document we are currently utilizing is located right here, and we have successfully loaded it into the system. And now let us carefully observe. We will go into it, and here we can clearly see that the specific model we are currently using is the Reranker 3.5. There are, of course, other valuable models available here as well, but for the purposes of this particular video, we are indeed using Reranker 3.5. We'll proceed to go into it and then activate our paid plan. For this essential step, we'll first need to navigate to their official website. After successfully going to the website, we'll sign in, and then we'll come back here to this specific option where we can easily set the default key. Once that crucial step is done, the entire setup will be complete. Now let's take a closer look at our document within Supabase. Here you can observe that in Supabase, all the various and different chunks are present here. So let's scroll up, and here inside Supabase, we can see that we also have the chunks available. Here we have 20 of them. There are 4 of them. So now let's open the chat and ask a question. Here we've asked the question. What is the order of the play? Now when we do this, it will fetch the data from the Supabase database, and from within the chunks, it will provide us with a relevant answer to our question. The answer it has given us here is a match play. And then in the Storooki play, and professional bowl and another bowl, now let us carefully see how exactly all of this intricate process is truly working. For that, we will go into the RAG section, and then inside its logs component, we can observe further. And here, we can clearly see in the Supabase that we have created. Here, you can see the query we give. Convert into the padding. And here you can see, and in the Reranker core here section, you can see we currently have 20 valuable chances. This is directly from our extracted data, and after that, when we look at the final output, we can see the comprehensive output here. It has given us a response. It gave us the 3 relevant scores, 0.69, 0.39, and 0.3. This means that the relevant score we have here is not very high. If we apply different filters to this, for example, if we filter for relevant scores above 0.9 or 0.7, we can do that as well. One problem with chunk searching is that whenever we do any kind of case navigation with it, if it's relevant, the chunks will keep coming to us and will keep giving us answers. So Now what we want is that the document we want our searching to be on this page, rule 1, rule 2, rule 3, rule 4 on this page. So for this, we set it up on top of it ourselves. Now, for example, when we come inside our own database, we can see it here. We have this rule created, we defined it here, and we had to create this rule here. So it came within one line, and we can see that this rule has also come to us. So now we can clearly see that rule 3 is displayed on 3 different lines. But still, when we click on it, it explicitly says rule 3. And when we click on this one, it also clearly says rule 3. And now if we click on this one, it too says rule 3. Actually, at this moment, nothing substantial is written about it. Nothing is written about it. So we have this advantage of metadata. Here, the metadata that we defined at the top. Now in the default data load we have, if we go inside it and look here, we wrote rule number on this and we can save it here. Apart from that, we can put it in different properties here, whether it's based on ID, based on page number. We can define everything here, like on what basis we want our result and how we want to proceed. Now we have different databases, different projects and clients. So now we want our data to be sorted based on things like our project number or name. That's why we define the data this way, and it becomes much more helpful for us here. We haven't written anything here, but when we go inside and click, we find out that this is also part of role 14. The data has been linked in such a way that we can easily identify this. Now here it sorts according to this, according to the rule base, like this is rule 25. Now let's observe precisely how we actually vectorize this particular data, that is to say how we accurately define. For this specific purpose, what we did first is to download the relevant file. Then we proceeded to go inside one particular file, and here we can clearly see inside it that we possess the entire data, which is conveniently contained within one single letter. Now moving forward on top of the foundational code, the JSON structure we had here, we diligently copied it. All of this extensive text, we copied it here and then subsequently came to the cloud where we have the essential help code available for this specific task. We defined it based on rules, and after that it gave us the output, which we copied right here. After that we set our role, and now we will also execute this. So in this particular step, we can clearly see that we have all these distinct and individual roles. Rule number 1, rule number 2, followed by rule number 3, and indeed these are all comprehensively contained within our complete rules. We have carefully set our tags, and now we will proceed to observe precisely how we have meticulously defined this entire configuration within our default order system here at this specific point. We have deliberately decided upon its governing rule, establishing the foundational logic for its operation. We have systematically dragged and precisely dropped it into its designated position. Subsequently, from this very stage, we then proceed to formulate and articulate our specific question. This comprehensive and structured approach is precisely how we effectively and accurately ask our question within this intricate system. Regarding rule 27, so now what will inevitably happen is that it will automatically go to the very center for us. And right here at this precise moment, it meticulously checked a specific rule number 27 for these two particular individuals. So the answer we obtained is, so from this here we have, now what precisely happens is it meticulously goes inside its designated rack and thoroughly checks how we comprehensively go over it. And the super number 27 that we currently possess, the initial scheme was unfortunately badded, but it was subsequently and successfully converted. Following that crucial step, the ranker diligently created its 20 distinct chunks right here. So as you can clearly observe, it generously provided us with various different and viable chunk options at the very center, and in the final output, it carefully searched between 2 and 3. Why did it undertake such an action? Because for the very first instance, it meticulously took out rule number 26 right here, and its corresponding relevance score was precisely 0.14. In another separate place, it subsequently took rule number 27, and its associated relevance score was exactly 0.13. The score came out to 0.14 point. Then again, it pulled out roll number 26. Now, when we go a second time, you can see it here in the output. It once again presented us with roll number 40. then subsequently roll number 26, and in this particular instance, it displayed roll number 24. Regarding the remaining roles after that specific selection, it meticulously chose roll number 26. It will diligently continue its search for us until it successfully locates what we are looking for. The definitive answer is simply not found. So now what we truly want inside this process is that for us, the comprehensive searching operation should be performed a total of 3 distinct times, and subsequently after this thorough searching endeavor, the ultimate answer should be securely stored within the designated Supabase. We inherently possess this valuable option, and here what we can effectively do is the precise answer we ultimately obtain, the allocated storage space for it should exclusively be role-based. For the successful accomplishment of this specific requirement, we will diligently employ another distinct method. So for this particular purpose, the extensive searching activity we meticulously conduct here is precisely referred to as meta. And on top of this, we have defined here that all this matter, son, is defined by roll number. That is, this answer is only for roll number QT, roll number 27. And in this, the result we have is and right now we can confidently go inside Supabase and thoroughly check it, which is specifically for us, for our particular use. Roll number 27. This particular instance is also for roll number 27, and this specific one as well is indeed for roll number 27. And in this scenario, the precise and exact result we genuinely needed, we successfully obtained. So now we can clearly observe that in this comprehensive video presentation, we have him. What we currently have, we are certainly able to do, and within this, we also have our comprehensive and official document is meticulously finalized and thoroughly reviewed in reality, that if you require our assistance or the document itself for any specific purpose, we are prepared to provide it upon your request. If you need it, then for that, you can easily join, and from within this comprehensive platform, you can truly expect everything you might need.